Please subscribe for future daily weather updates.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, here with your weather update here on Thursday, August the 22nd, 2024. Hey, if you're new to the channel and if you'd like to have this program as part of your YouTube feed, please just consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you learn on future content. And as always, if you enjoy the content, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I really do appreciate you helping us support the channel here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our satellite imagery here. You're immediately drawn to some clusters of storms here with these bright white clouds showing up on the infrared imagery here across portions of Nebraska and Kansas and getting up toward North Dakota and Minnesota. I got a little bit of rains here across the northeast and some scattered showers down toward Florida. And we don't want to forget our friends here across the Pacific Northwest. Got a weak system here coming in across areas of Washington State as well for this morning. Let's look at the big picture here. One thing's for sure, check out some of these temperatures here across the Midwest. Talk about very fall-like. How about 45, 46 there across portions of Ohio, 52, just very nice. 48 in Buffalo. That's just some very nice weather to say the least. But don't get used to this. If you live in this part of the country, you know what's coming. This is going to head on out. And for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. We're going to get a big warm-up here heading into next week. There's our clusters of rain there across the central portion of the country. An old stalled front down to the south and a new system out here on the west coast as well. We'll go ahead and take a closer look at some of this rain here across portions of Kansas for this morning and seeing this line of showers and thunderstorms stretching up just to the north of Wichita, going all the way up to the Nebraska border there. So folks over here in Manhattan Junction, you got this rain coming your way. That'll be moving in here over the next hour or so. Nothing severe out this morning, just some pretty good gully washers here. Probably a nice little morning with some thunderstorm. Makes you want to stay in bed, you know, one of those type of rain events. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our weather city of the day. We're talking about the port of Miami, or Miami, Florida here. That's where all the cruise ships go out from this location. And it's going to be a steamy day in Miami for today. In fact, we're looking for a high temperature of about 91 degrees, but you factor in that humidity. They do have heat advisories in effect. The feel like temperature will be about 103. And if you would like to have your city to be considered as the weather city of the day, if you got a webcam, you know if it's in your backyard, please just go ahead and post the link down below, and I'll go ahead and consider it, and we'll go ahead and put your forecast and highlight your city here on the report as well. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at what we're expecting for severe weather here for the next several days. We'll go ahead and click on over here from the latest from the Storms Prediction Center, and just got a couple of clusters here we're going to be watching as far as potential severe weather. You see these little pockets here. You got the marginal area up here across portions of Minnesota and into the Dakotas. That's where we're kind of tracking that weather this morning. You got another round here back over toward Colorado and Nebraska and Kansas, and then another one out here in the Intermountain region. So just little clusters of severe weather possibility through those areas here over today and going into tomorrow morning. In fact, let's go ahead and step this through. We'll go ahead and see how it's going to look here for day two. Here's your day two outlook here. Again, just a couple of clusters there across Utah and stretching back toward Wyoming and Colorado. Again, right there on right there going into the plains, coming out of the Rockies from Montana back toward Nebraska. And your day three outlook, pretty much holding in the same general locations. Again, that light green is just your general thunderstorm threat, but just a marginal risk. So we're not expecting out even a slight risk here over the next 3 days. Things are looking fairly quiet as far as any potential severe weather is concerned. It's pretty active yesterday, but not looking that way here for the next few days, at least according to the latest from the Storms Prediction Center. How about the tropics? You know, it's like, boy, I thought you said it was going to get busy. It's August 22nd. Well, things are quiet out there for the moment. Unusually so. I would really suspect things will be getting going. I still think the lingering impact of some of the dust out there, and I'm going to explain why I think that's the case here in just a second. But as we take a look at the latest satellite imagery out there, things not looking too bad out there for the moment, as we're looking at a couple of waves here coming up, but nothing overly strong. This time of morning, you still see some of that brown hue coming up in here where the sun angles cuts through the atmosphere. So you're kind of seeing some of the residue of some of the Saharan dust that's out there a little bit. But right now, when I was looking at the long-range models on the American GFS model, European, neither one are kicking up anything developing going into the first week. Climatologically speaking, going into the end of August and going into September, you would think things would start to get going. but especially as we go into September. So this is the September map. This is the climatology speaking, looking back the last 100 years where all the storms form. And you see that red area there. That is where you typically get development well out into the Atlantic. So we're looking at that intertropical convergence zone. We're looking well out into the Atlantic to see things develop. And things are kind of quiet here for the moment. Now, the reason why I think we're seeing this, I want to go ahead and show you this. This is the sea temperature anomaly map here. And there's a couple things I do want to point out here as we go through the next couple days. One thing that's been happening is we've had some upwelling of some waters here in the Atlantic here. So we've had some upwelling right in here, and that's some cooler water. It's being driven by some strong trade winds. Now, strong trade winds can give you wave activity, and we're kind of getting that. But I think the side effect of this, it's continuing where the Saharan dust would typically start to diminish because the temperature gradient between the south-north starts to diminish. That's not been the case. So we've been getting upwelling because of stronger winds blowing in from the southwest, going up toward from the southeast going to the northwest, and that coupled with that gradient there, more Saharan dust going out there, and I think that'll diminish over time. You also see the upwelling here in the Pacific side. This is, of course, the La Nina transition we're going through. Not overly strong right now, by the way, but that is definitely seeing the transition right there. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that here for this morning of why I think the tropics have been kind of quiet here for the moment. But I do still think things will get cranking here as we get toward the end of the month and we go into September, because that's when the peak of the hurricane season is, on September the 10th. All right, now it's time to get in the model. It's model time. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to start out here by taking a look here at the European model here. We back this up here a little bit. There's a couple things I do want to point out here over the next few days. So we're going to be watching a fairly quiet pattern from west to east across the country. Nothing real significant there. But we're going to watch as we go into this upcoming weekend. We got a storm system here up here coming out of the Gulf of Alaska. So that's why I'm kind of looking at the continental United States and Canada. It's this little thing here. This thing's going to kind of roll in here across the Canadian and the U.S. border there, and it's going to drag a cold front down with it. And I suspect we may have some rounds of severe weather, more significant severe weather, heading into next week as a result of this storm system. So let me go ahead and take you through time here. Again, we're looking ahead toward next week. So this storm system is going to move on in along the border here as we go into Monday and Tuesday next week, and it really may set up some initial severe weather there across the high plains first. That'll be the first area. Obviously, we're going to get a clash of the air masses in here. It's going to be very warm in response to the cool air that's in place now. So with another round of the cold front coming in there, we're going to set up some more severe weather going into next week. So again, watch that timestamp in your upper right-hand corner once again as this bulldoze is all along the border here. It's going to be dragging down a cold front. So going throughout the day on Friday, severe weather, I think, across the Great Lakes and stretching back here toward the southwest. So we're talking about some active weather in this zone on Friday, and this will continue to move off toward the east as we go into your Saturday as well. So I'll go and take this out to the end of its run. Watch as we go into the end of Friday there. We're looking at some active weather there throughout the end of the day on Friday. So, and going into Saturday. So Saturday, you're looking from, again, the northeast down to the southeast. A pretty decent cold front here that'll kind of be cutting through here. And I do suspect we're going to have some active weather, again, going into next week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think we'll have a 3-day window there with some active severe weather. Of course, yours truly will be watching it very closely as we go into next week. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the continental United States. I want to go ahead and focus specifically on the air mass that's going to change here over the next few days. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this back over here. Again, we're going to be looking at the anomaly map here, and I'm going to back this up. You're going to see the change here. Again, we got this big area of blue and green. I mean, that's called your below normal temperatures. Definitely seeing that here in place here on your Thursday, and things are going to be changing with this, and we're going to replace this with some very warm, hot air. In fact, I saw some of the meteograms going back into the hundreds for a lot of locations into the southeast going into next week as a result of the changes that are going to be taking place. So again, watch that timestamp as we say goodbye to this nice air mass here for Thursday and Friday, and things begin to modify quickly. You notice the warm up there in the middle of the country, seeing that reds, that's going to be indicative of your warmer temperatures here. Still got some cooler plume here on the west with that next system coming on out there. so we're getting a little bit of cooler weather out in the Intermountain region. But all right, let's go ahead and take this forward again as we'll watch the timestamp here as we go throughout the day. That makes really start to heat up this weekend across the high plains and stretching back toward Texas. Texas yesterday, boy, they were sweltering. A lot of places got over 105 degrees yesterday. That'll continue to be there, but things really start to move. Look at this big air mass going into Monday afternoon. We're talking significantly warm weather here across the Great Lakes, stretching into the southeast. Big warm up there. Not looking too bad. Obviously, we got the cooler pool back here across the Intermountain region and coming into the high plains going into your Monday. And then we're going to watch that storm system. Again, that one that's going to drag across the continent right there along the Canadian and U.S. border. It's going to drag down some cool weather out of Canada as we go in toward the end of next week. So again, we're going to take this forward here and go throughout the day on Tuesday. You're going to see that warmer. Look how hot there it is on Tuesday afternoon. Again, the Midwest, Southeast, we'll see some very warm temperatures there in the Tuesday. And the same goes into Wednesday. It gets really warm there on Wednesday across the Mid-South, the Midwest. Some very warm weather there. Here's our cold front back here. First little signs of some changes back here as this is going to be moving in and racing it across the country. We're going to beat this heat back a little bit as we go toward the end of next week here on this 10-day run. So we'll grab that little forward line here. Go ahead forward again. We're going to beat that heat back some more, and things looking a little more seasonable, maybe a little above average, but we do back it down a little bit here as we go into next week. Obviously, we got a cold front that'll be moving in at that time, kind of sliding through here, and we get some of the cool weather coming across the Great Lakes. Not overly bad, not as nearly as, say, thick or cool as that last batch that's been sitting over the eastern third of the United States this week, but it will cool down a little bit as we go in toward the end of next week. That's the way it's looking currently for the moment. So we do have a new update here from the Climate Prediction Center. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. As you can see, that cool pool here showing up here on the 6 to 10 day outlook. They didn't have this the day before, but you got the cool air here. Big warm up here, as I was just showing you here across the middle of the eastern 2/3 of the United States with above normal temperatures. Going to have temperatures well into the 90s. Probably see a few hundreds here across the deep south as we go through that time frame. Again, we're talking about the 27th to the 31st. Going into next week. And then obviously with that, we're going to have below normal temperatures. So drought conditions may increase a little bit across some locations. Still wet up here across the high plains and across the southwest with the monsoon there going from days 6 through 10. Now going out a little bit further, 8 through 14, that pool shifts a little bit further off toward the east. Still warm here with above normal temperatures, but not quite as bad as what they were showing. Again, we're looking at August 29th through September 4th. So it takes us right past Labor Day in that following week there as this kind of shifts off toward the east just a little bit. And as far as precipitation, again, still looking at this big bullseye with below normal precipitation here across the Mid-South from Arkansas stretching back over to Tennessee and in Kentucky. Above normal activity here with some rains from Colorado into Nebraska, into South Dakota and Wyoming, and a little bit along the eastern seaboard and a little dry in the Pacific Northwest. So things it's going to get a little more active here a little bit. Still waiting on the tropics to get going here as we go into the end of August and going into early September. And I've been saying this, I'm going to say it again. When the tropics start to go, it's going to be like someone just flipping a switch, and it's going to get very busy. And be careful out there on YouTube. Again, I've been seeing some stuff out there where they're kind of, it's going to get this. Right now, I don't see anything imminent. Not saying that we won't see anything finally kick in, but there's no imminent storm development. Nothing showing on the European, nothing showing on the American GFS model, at least for the next 7 to 10 days. Things look like they're going to be quiet here for a little bit. And of course, yours truly will update you should that change. Always subject to change when you're dealing with the world of weather. All right, that's your update for now. Again, if you like this report, and again, this is going to be a regular feature I'm going to try to do daily for you here. Kind of give you a quick rundown of everything going on for severe weather, the tropics, and just general weather pattern across the country. And if you'd like to include this in your YouTube feed, be one of many in the YouTube universe, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And as always, leave me a comment down below, tell me what you think. I really do appreciate y'all's support. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.